Have you ever stopped to ask yourself what it really means to be a true Christian? Not the kind people talk about in passing, or the ones defined by traditions and appearances, but the kind that touches every part of your life, the kind that moves mountains inside your heart. Many people believe that being a Christian is about following rules, going to church, or saying the right words. But what if I told you that most people completely miss the point? What if true Christianity is something much deeper, something that challenges you, changes you, and sets your soul on fire? This question isn't just about faith or religion. It's about the core of who you are and who you're becoming. It's about living a life that truly reflects the love, power, and grace that Jesus offers. When we look at the world around us, it's easy to see why confusion exists. Christianity is often mistaken for just a set of rituals or a label people carry, but deep inside, many Christians feel a hunger, a longing for something real, something that goes beyond the surface. You might recognize that hunger in yourself. Maybe you felt the pain of falling short or the frustration of trying to be good enough and still feeling empty. That struggle is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that your soul is awake, ready to move beyond shallow faith towards something real and life-changing. True Christianity is not about perfection. It's about transformation. It's about the daily decision to live in a way that reflects God's love and truth, even when it's difficult. It's not about pretending to have all the answers, but about walking a path of growth and courage. This journey can shake everything you thought you knew, but it's also the path to the most profound peace and purpose you can ever experience. Think about the people who inspire you most. Those who don't just talk about their beliefs, but live them with passion and authenticity. They are often the ones who have faced struggles, doubts, and pain, but chose to hold on to faith anyway. Their lives show that true Christianity isn't a checklist or a performance. It's a heart transformed by grace and powered by love. In this video, you're about to discover 5 clear signs that show if you are truly walking this path. These signs aren't about outward appearances or empty words. They're about the inner fire that burns in a real Christian's life. By understanding these signs, you'll gain a clearer picture of what faith really looks like and how it can change your life from the inside out. This knowledge has the power to unlock a new level of spiritual strength and peace within you. But more than that, watching this video till the end will offer you something priceless, a chance to reflect deeply on your own faith journey. You will find motivation to move beyond confusion, doubt, or simply going through the motions. You'll be encouraged to embrace a faith that is alive, active, and rooted in love. This is not about judgment or pressure. It's about awakening the true potential of your spirit and stepping into a life filled with purpose. Imagine waking up every day with a clear sense of who you are, knowing that your faith is real because it transforms your actions, your thoughts, and your relationships. Imagine living with confidence, not because life is easy, but because your faith is strong enough to carry you through every challenge. This is what true Christianity offers, and it's within your reach. The journey toward becoming a true Christian is a deeply personal one, but it's also a path walked by millions before you. It's a journey that calls for honesty, courage, and an open heart. It asks you to let go of what's holding you back, the fear, the doubts, the need for approval, and to embrace a faith that is bold and genuine. In the end, being a true Christian is about becoming the best version of yourself, a person who reflects the love and light of God in everything they do. It's about living with intention and passion, knowing that your life has meaning far beyond what you can see. So as you watch this video, let yourself be challenged and inspired. Let go of what you thought Christianity was and open yourself to what it truly means. The signs you will learn about are not just labels, they are doors leading to a deeper, richer faith. When you recognize them in your life, you will know you are on the path that God designed for you. Your faith is not meant to be hidden or shallow. It is meant to be alive and powerful. And this moment, right now, could be the moment your heart begins to truly understand what it means to be a true Christian. Keep listening, keep opening your heart, and prepare to see yourself in a new, inspiring light. True Christianity is not about empty words or rituals. It's about faith that moves beyond belief and transforms your entire life. The heartbeat of this faith is action, a faith that breathes, grows, and impacts everything you do. It's not something you turn on only when it's convenient or when others are watching. True faith is alive even in the moments when no one else sees, in the quiet battles you fight inside, and in the choices you make when no one else can judge you. At its core, true Christianity is faith expressed through genuine actions. This means that your beliefs are reflected in how you treat others, how you respond to challenges, and how you live when no spotlight is on you. It's a living faith, one that shapes your character and fuels your purpose. When faith becomes action, it starts to change the way you think, speak, and behave. It brings a shift from just knowing to truly living. This is the difference between a shallow faith and a deep, lasting one. A shallow faith can often look good on the outside, but lacks the power to sustain you when life gets tough. A true living faith is like a strong root system underground, holding you steady through storms and seasons of doubt. It is faith that refuses to quit, that stands firm not because life is easy, but because the heart is anchored in something unshakable. Understanding this is crucial because it reminds us that Christianity is not about a list of do's and don'ts. It's about a transformation of the heart. When your faith becomes action, it naturally expresses itself in kindness, patience, forgiveness, and love. These are not just good qualities, they are the marks of a life touched by God. Living this way takes courage and commitment. It means choosing to walk a path that sometimes goes against the crowd or your own desires. But this path leads to something far greater than comfort or approval. It leads to freedom, purpose, and true joy. This kind of faith is contagious because it shines through your life and draws others toward hope and light. When faith lives in your actions, it becomes impossible to hide. It breaks the chains of fear and doubt and allows your true self to shine. This is the heartbeat of true Christianity, a faith that moves you to live fully, love deeply, and stand firm no matter what comes your way. True Christianity is most clearly seen in a life marked by love. Not just any love, but a deep, unconditional love that reflects the heart of God. This love is the undeniable proof that faith is real and alive. It goes beyond feelings or occasional kindness. It becomes the driving force behind every decision, every word, and every action. When love is at the center of your life, it changes everything. It pushes you to forgive when it feels impossible, to give when you feel empty, and to serve even when no one notices. This love does not wait for others to deserve it. It doesn't keep score or seek recognition. Instead, it flows freely, breaking down walls and healing wounds. The Bible teaches that love is the greatest commandment, and psychology confirms that love is the deepest need in every human heart. When you live out true love, you tap into a powerful force that transforms relationships and communities. It moves beyond selfishness and pride, reaching out to the hurting, the lost, and even those who may oppose you. Loving others in this way requires courage. It means choosing compassion over judgment, patience over anger, and understanding over criticism. It also means loving yourself with grace, accepting your own flaws while striving to grow. True love starts from within and radiates outward, touching every part of your life. This kind of love is a sign that your faith is not just words, but a living reality. It shows that God's presence is shaping you into someone who reflects His nature. Love becomes the evidence that you are walking the path of true Christianity, because it is impossible to claim faith without letting love guide you. Living a life marked by this kind of love will challenge you to look beyond yourself and your comfort. It will ask you to step into situations that stretch your heart and test your patience. But with every act of love, you are becoming more like the person God created you to be, a person whose faith is genuine, powerful, and unshakable. True Christianity is deeply rooted in humility and the willingness to repent. It's not about pretending to be perfect or hiding your mistakes. Real faith acknowledges weakness, admits failure, and chooses to change. Humility is not weakness. It is the foundation of strength. It is the courage to face your flaws honestly and the openness to grow beyond them. Repentance is often misunderstood as simply feeling sorry for mistakes, but it goes much deeper. It is a deliberate turning away from harmful patterns, selfishness, and anything that separates you from God's love. This turning is not a one-time event, but a daily choice, a commitment to keep realigning your life with truth and grace. When you embrace humility, you free yourself from the burden of trying to prove worthiness. You stop seeking approval through performance or image, and instead find peace in knowing that your value comes from God's unconditional love. This shift transforms your mindset, allowing you to be honest with yourself and others. This humility opens the door to true growth. It encourages you to listen, to learn, and to accept correction without defensiveness. It helps you build deeper, more authentic relationships because you no longer hide behind pride or fear of judgment. Instead, you become someone others can trust and respect. Psychologically, humility is linked to greater resilience and emotional health. It breaks the cycle of anxiety and self-condemnation, replacing it with self-awareness and hope. When you combine humility with repentance, you create a powerful cycle of renewal, a chance to become more aligned with the life God desires for you. True Christianity is not about being perfect, but about being real. It's about showing up honestly, admitting when you're wrong, and choosing to walk forward in faith. This humble heart is a clear sign that you are on the path of genuine faith, a path that leads not to judgment, but to healing, strength, and transformation. True Christianity is marked by a relentless pursuit of truth and spiritual growth. It is not a faith satisfied with surface-level understanding or fleeting emotions. Instead, it is a hunger, a deep desire to know God more intimately, to understand His ways, and to become more like Him every day. This pursuit is what separates a shallow belief from a faith that transforms lives. This hunger drives true Christians to seek God through prayer, study, and reflection, even when it feels challenging or uncomfortable. It is not about checking off religious duties, but about an earnest longing to grow in wisdom, grace, and character. When you hunger for truth, you open your heart to change and allow God to work deeply within you. Spiritual growth is a continuous journey, not a destination. It requires patience, commitment, and sometimes wrestling with doubts and questions. True Christians don't give up when the path is hard or when their faith is tested. Instead, they lean into those moments, knowing that growth often comes through struggle and perseverance. This pursuit shapes the way you see yourself and the world around you. It builds resilience and deepens your capacity for love, forgiveness, and compassion. It also guards against complacency, a danger where faith becomes routine, losing its power and passion. A faith hungry for growth is humble enough to admit it doesn't have all the answers and brave enough to keep seeking anyway. It is a faith that constantly refines itself, shedding false beliefs and embracing truth. This ongoing transformation is a clear sign of a true Christian, someone whose life reflects an active, living relationship with God. When you commit to this kind of pursuit, your faith becomes a source of strength and inspiration, not just for yourself, but for those around you. It is a faith that shines brightly, drawing others toward hope and meaning. This hunger for truth and growth is more than a sign, it is the heartbeat of a genuine Christian life. True Christianity is not a path paved with ease or comfort. Instead, it is a journey through trials and challenges where faith is tested and strengthened. Real Christians face hardships, not with fear or denial, but with trust. Trust that God is present in the storm, guiding and sustaining them. This trust is a powerful sign of genuine faith. Life will inevitably bring pain, disappointment, and struggles. How you respond to these moments reveals the depth of your faith. True Christians do not run from difficulty or pretend it doesn't affect them. They confront challenges with courage, knowing that their faith is not based on circumstances, but on a steady, unshakable foundation. This steadfast faith doesn't mean the absence of doubt or fear. It means choosing to hold on to hope even when everything seems uncertain. It means praying through the pain and trusting God's purpose, even when the outcome is unclear. This kind of faith is resilient because it is anchored in a relationship, not just a belief. Facing trials with faith also shapes your character. It builds patience, perseverance, and humility. These qualities don't develop in easy seasons. They grow through struggle and surrender. When you overcome hardships with faith, you become a living testimony of God's strength and grace. This response to adversity is a clear sign of true Christianity. It shows that faith is more than words, it is lived reality. When you meet challenges with trust rather than defeat, you reflect the heart of Jesus, who faced the greatest trial with unwavering faith. True faith in action is a powerful motivator. It inspires others, lights the way through darkness, and offers hope where there is despair. It is a faith that transforms pain into purpose and trials into triumph. This resilience in the face of hardship is one of the clearest signs that you are truly walking the path of a genuine Christian. True Christianity is not about receiving, but about giving, serving others with a selfless heart. It is easy to think of faith as something personal, a private matter between you and God, but true faith always moves beyond itself. It reaches out, touches lives, and serves with no expectation of reward. This kind of service is one of the most powerful signs of genuine Christianity. Serving others means putting their needs before your own comfort and convenience. It means acting with compassion, kindness, and generosity, even when it costs you something. True service flows naturally from a heart transformed by grace. When you truly understand God's love for you, you cannot help but want to share it through your actions. Service is not about seeking recognition or applause. It is often quiet, unseen, and humble. It can be as simple as a listening ear, a helping hand, or a word of encouragement. These small acts carry enormous power because they reflect the very heart of Christ, who came to serve, not to be served. Psychology tells us that serving others also transforms the giver. It increases feelings of purpose, happiness, and connection. When you serve selflessly, you break free from the trap of selfishness and find deep fulfillment. This fulfillment is a sign that your faith is real because it produces the fruit of joy and peace. True Christians understand that their life is not just about their own story, but about being part of a bigger mission. Serving others creates ripples of love and hope that can change communities and even the world. This outward focus shows that faith is not shallow or self-centered, but deeply rooted in the desire to reflect God's light. When you serve with a genuine, selfless heart, it becomes clear that your faith is not just words, but a powerful force for good. This is the mark of a true Christian, one whose life is dedicated to love in action, making a difference beyond themselves. Many people mistake true Christianity for simply following rules, attending church, or appearing righteous. This focus on outward appearances is one of the biggest traps that keep so many from experiencing genuine faith. True Christianity isn't about the surface, it's about what happens deep inside your heart and mind. When faith becomes more about rituals and judgments, it loses its power and meaning. Focusing on appearances can create a false sense of security. It allows people to check boxes without facing the real work of transformation. This kind of faith is fragile because it depends on external approval and conditions. When challenges arise, or when no one is watching, it often falls apart. The danger lies in confusing religion with true relationship. A relationship with God that changes every part of who you are. Judging others or yourself based on appearances also blocks growth. It breeds pride and fear rather than humility and courage. When faith becomes about looking good, it becomes a performance rather than a journey. This performance exhausts the spirit and leaves people disconnected from the true source of hope and strength. Understanding this trap is essential because it invites you to look beyond what is easy or comfortable. It calls you to be honest about your faith, not with others, but with yourself. True Christianity is messy and challenging, but it is also deeply freeing. It breaks chains of pretense and invites you into a life of authenticity. When you let go of the need to appear perfect or righteous, you open the door to real transformation. You start to live from the inside out, driven by love, grace, and truth. This shift is the turning point where faith stops being about rules and starts being about life, life that is full, vibrant, and deeply connected to God. Recognizing this trap helps you avoid the common mistake of empty religion and move toward a faith that is alive and powerful. It is the difference between walking a path of true Christianity and merely wearing its name without its power. This awareness is a step toward freedom, growth, and a deeper, more meaningful relationship with God. True Christianity begins with a powerful shift in mindset, a renewal of the heart and mind that shapes every thought, choice, and action. This transformation is not simply about following rules or adopting religious habits. It is about allowing God to rewrite your inner story, changing the way you see yourself, others, and the world around you. When your mind is renewed, you start to think differently. Fear and doubt give way to faith and hope. Negative thoughts lose their grip, replaced by a deep sense of peace and confidence rooted in God's promises. This mental shift creates a foundation that supports a life of purpose and resilience, even when circumstances are difficult. Renewing the heart means embracing forgiveness, not only receiving it from God, but also extending it to yourself and others. It frees you from the weight of guilt, shame, and bitterness. This freedom opens space for joy, gratitude, and love to grow. Your heart becomes a wellspring of compassion and strength, ready to face life's challenges with courage. Psychologically, this renewal is vital. Our thoughts and beliefs shape our emotions and behaviors. When your mind is anchored in truth and hope, your actions align with your faith. This alignment creates harmony within, reducing internal conflict and increasing clarity. This transformation is ongoing. It requires intentionality and openness. It means choosing daily to let go of old patterns and to embrace the new life God offers. This renewal isn't always easy. It asks you to confront uncomfortable truths and to let go of control. But the reward is profound. A life lived in freedom, purpose, and authentic connection with God. This renewed mindset is a clear sign of true Christianity. It reflects a heart that is open to change, committed to growth, and anchored in God's love. When your heart and mind are transformed, your faith is no longer just an idea, but a powerful force that shapes your entire life. True Christianity is fueled by a deep motivation that goes beyond obligation or routine. It is powered by the desire for a life filled with peace, joy, and meaning that nothing else can provide. This motivation comes from knowing that your faith is not just a set of rules, but a source of strength and hope that carries you through every season. When you experience this kind of motivation, you no longer live for approval or temporary satisfaction. Instead, you are driven by a greater purpose, a purpose rooted in the understanding that your life has eternal significance. This understanding brings clarity to your choices and gives you the courage to face challenges with confidence. This motivation awakens a hunger for something real and lasting. It fuels perseverance when the road is tough and lights a fire within your soul that refuses to be extinguished. It pushes you to grow, to serve, and to love even when it's hard, because you know that these actions align with the life God calls you to live. Psychologically, having a strong, purpose-driven motivation increases resilience and well-being. It helps you stay focused on what truly matters, filtering out distractions and fears. This kind of motivation transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for growth and faithfulness. True Christianity isn't passive. It is an active, powerful force moving you forward. It is a motivation that changes how you see pain, success, and even yourself. It shifts your perspective from survival to thriving, from fear to faith. When your motivation is rooted in this deep understanding, your faith becomes unshakable. It moves beyond words and rituals to become the very heartbeat of your life. This motivation is a clear sign that your Christianity is true, alive, and transforming everything you do. It is the fuel that keeps your spirit burning bright, even when the world feels dark. True Christianity calls for honest reflection, a moment to look deeply into your life and ask if you are truly walking the path your faith demands. This reflection is not about judgment or shame. It is an opportunity to see clearly where you stand and where your heart is leading you. Without this self-awareness, faith can easily drift into routine or become disconnected from reality. Reflection requires courage. It asks you to be brutally honest about your actions, motivations, and the authenticity of your faith. Are you living out the values you claim to believe? Are love, humility, and service evident in your daily life? Do your struggles bring you closer to God, or do they push you away? These questions aren't meant to condemn, but to awaken a deeper understanding of your spiritual journey. This process of honest reflection allows you to identify areas where change is needed. It encourages growth, healing, and renewed commitment. When you face your weaknesses without fear, you open the door to transformation. This is the moment where faith becomes more than words. It becomes a lived experience. Psychologically, self-reflection strengthens emotional intelligence and resilience. It builds a bridge between your beliefs and your behaviors, helping you live with integrity and purpose. It also fosters humility, which is essential for spiritual growth. True Christians recognize that reflection is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. It keeps faith alive and vibrant, preventing complacency and encouraging ongoing renewal. It reminds you that the path of faith is a journey, not a destination. When you engage in honest reflection, you show that your faith is active and growing. This self-awareness is a clear sign that you are committed to living out true Christianity. It means you are not afraid to face the truth about yourself because you trust in the grace that leads to change. This willingness to reflect and grow is what keeps your faith real, powerful, and alive. True Christianity is not about wearing a mask or playing a role for others. It is about embracing authenticity and living from the heart. This means being real, not perfect. It means showing up with all your doubts, fears, and struggles, yet choosing to trust and follow God anyway. Authenticity is a powerful sign of genuine faith because it reveals a person who is not afraid to be vulnerable and honest. Living authentically requires courage. It means letting go of the need to impress or hide behind religious labels. Instead, it invites you to be yourself fully, knowing that God accepts you as you are and desires to transform you from within. When your faith is authentic, it shines through your actions and relationships in a way that cannot be faked. Authenticity builds trust, not only with God, but also with others. People are drawn to those who are genuine because realness speaks to the heart. It breaks down barriers and creates space for meaningful connection. This connection is vital for growth, support, and encouragement on the faith journey. Psychologically, authenticity promotes mental and emotional well-being. Pretending or hiding parts of yourself can lead to stress, anxiety, and isolation. Living honestly allows your mind and heart to align, bringing peace and freedom. It helps you face challenges without fear of judgment, knowing that your worth is not based on perfection, but on God's unchanging love. True Christianity embraces the messy, imperfect reality of life. It does not expect you to have all the answers or to be flawless. Instead, it offers grace that meets you where you are and power to become who you are meant to be. When you live authentically, your faith becomes a living testimony of God's work in your life. It shows that your relationship with Him is real and transforming. This authenticity is a clear sign that you are walking the path of true Christianity, one marked by honesty, courage, and a heart fully surrendered.